Right, so some key players there who could still be on the move. We're going to have an eye on them between now and deadline day, which is a week today. Today we've got Kyle Walker and Mark McAdam in the studio. We will start with Harry Kane. Mark, he did come on Sunday. What kind of message were Tottenham sending out by him playing?
I think the message from Spurs is very clear. They don't want to sell. They don't need to sell. And Harry Kane is a player at Tottenham that has 3 years left on his contract. When they want him to play, he'll play. And the great thing for Nuno, finally, he has his best player at his disposal. And despite only coming off the bench, you get the feeling that this is the start of him being involved continuously now between now and the end of the window. They very much want to send out a clear message that you are a part of this squad and you will be playing for Tottenham this season.
Right, well, playing for Tottenham, what about on Thursday? Because they've got a game in the Europa League. Could he be involved, Kyle?
I mean, there's not currently anything that would stop him from playing. We know that everyone will be keeping their eyes peeled and looking out for that starting 11 squad an hour before the game. And to see if he will be included. He did come on, as we saw here, against Wolves, and manager Nuno Espirito Santo said he needed to build his fitness after the game. Thursday could be a great opportunity to get some match minutes in there as well, plus help Tottenham overturn that deficit that they have. They are losing 1-0. If he does play, he will still be eligible to play in the Champions League as well. That was a question that people were asking. So if there was a club maybe that is competing in the Champions League this season that were linked with him, aka Manchester City, he could actually still feature in the Champions League if that move was to go ahead. That would not be an issue. I guess it'll be interesting to see if there is a bid in the next couple of days or in the next 4 or 5 days, because they've got the game on Thursday in the Europa Conference League, and then on Sunday they face Watford before the deadline comes to a close a week today. Feels like the time around this whole move, it's gathering momentum. It's so quick now, 7 days left. Can they get that over the line? Will there be any more movement?
I think there clearly needs to be some movement very quickly with this one, because time's running out. As we know, it's deadline day in a week's time today. And therefore, every day that goes past, the price for Harry Kane will go up, because Daniel Levy won't be able to get in a replacement. And to try and replace Harry Kane, as we've seen with other players like Jack Grealish going to Manchester City, Villa have replaced him with 3 players. And Harry Kane's very much in that kind of mould. He's such an important player to Tottenham. He's an icon. He's a legend. He's someone that will be so instrumental for them this season. To replace him is going to be so difficult. And with time running out, it becomes even more difficult.
Right, so what's Daniel Levy's position then? Because he's the one in charge at Tottenham.
Well, once again, Daniel Levy holds all the aces, doesn't he? He controls the game at Tottenham. He has all the power. As I said earlier on the show, that Harry Kane has a 3-year deal still remaining on his current contract. So the position of negotiation lands with Tottenham, because it's not like he's down to his last year or his last couple of years. They still hold the aces when it comes to his deal, because they have that control. And as we know, Daniel Levy is someone that is a fierce negotiator. When he steps up to the table to talk business, he talks business, and he does it in the way that he wants to do it. And that's the problem for Harry Kane. He's not got someone in Daniel Levy that will turn around and go, OK, fine, I'll let you get your wish. You want to leave, fine, not a problem. Daniel Levy will do what's right for Tottenham. And if that means Harry Kane has to stay for another season, then that's what Harry Kane will have to do. So it's a fascinating one. We've been talking about it every single day throughout the course of this window. Time's running out, but you get the feeling that time might be running out for Harry Kane as well to get this move.
Yeah, he said a few times there about time running out. It's true, Kyle, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is. And I said this yesterday. I mentioned, and I used the phrase, it's been rumbling on since May. Tottenham fans were tweeting me yesterday saying that is exactly what it is doing. It's been rumbling on for so long. But there's not been any real movement. That bid that was put in by Manchester City in May for £100 million, well, from there, we thought it would possibly be done before the Euros. That wasn't the case, and the time has been ticking down. We've got 7 days left right now. There hasn't been any more bids, but as Carvey said on the transfer show last night, if Man City are to make a bid, it has to be serious. You're talking £150 million, no instalments, no players, and as it stands, there hasn't been a bid made that has been acceptable. He is still a Tottenham player. They have a game on Thursday, as we've been talking about, that is huge for them. And then back to Premier League action on Sunday. So 7 days left, 2 games in between that, and no acceptable bid has been made just yet. Seems like there's been no real movement.
Well, have your say, hashtag transfer talk. Matt Allen says it's too late to sell Kane now. How do you replace him within a week? If City really wanted him, why didn't they just stump up the £150 million? Instead, they went for Grealish, who they didn't really need. City are more to blame than Tottenham and Daniel Levy. And Paul Marshall asked quite an interesting question. He says he can't see Tottenham selling Kane to City now. Not enough time to bring in a replacement, so agreeing with Matt there. Could anyone see Manchester United make a player plus cash deal for him, with Martial going the other way? Well, the Manchester United angle is very interesting, and Dave Reed's been looking at it.
Yeah, earlier this year it seemed like both Manchester clubs were a possibility for Kane, but United decided to keep Edinson Cavani for another year. And the emergence of Mason Greenwood has given United extra depth in that area as well. The subject was spoken about on the Monday Night Football. Gary Neville urged his former side to join the race.
I'm struggling to understand why Manchester United aren't going that extra step this transfer window. Sancho's 70-odd million was last year's money, and I think with regards to Manchester United, they've always gone after the best player in the Premier League, the best English player in the Premier League, or British player historically. Why is Martial, James, Lingard, you're talking about potentially offloading a lot of wages there, potentially getting some transfer fee in. Why are they not going in for Harry Kane this week? Because I think if Harry Kane entered Manchester United, you could get up to 90, 95 points. Without him, they're still going to have to replace Cavani and Martial next summer. Martial's not going to do it. Cavani's only got 1 year left. They're going to have to buy a centre forward at some point. Why not get the man now and give Ole that impetus to get to that 90? I don't think they can just with Sancho and Varane.
Mark, I think that's a really fair question. If Manchester United aren't in for him, why not?
Do you know what? It's one of those things. Harry Kane is an incredible striker and has been for a number of years in the Premier League. He is everything that someone would want to sign right now, because at 28, you're not going to get this move in a year's time, really. He's the England captain. He's just had an incredible Euros. He scored goals for fun. And you have to say, why isn't there other clubs queuing up for him? I guess it's the price tag that will be putting off most clubs. But Manchester United shouldn't be one of those clubs that are put off by a price tag because of the stature of the football club. Let's take a look now at the players that Ole has at his disposal and the goals they scored in the Premier League. Marcus Rashford, 11. Edinson Cavani, 10. Mason Greenwood, 7. And Anthony Martial, 4. Now, what's the one thing that strikes you when you look at that list? There's a nice balance there between young and experience, pace and intelligence. They've got great attributes together. But the one thing that stands out when you look at that list there, no one has got 20-plus goals in the Premier League last season for Manchester United. No one's even got close to it. Whilst they've all had good seasons, they've also, been really strong as a unit. There's not one player there that screams, I am going to get you a goal in the 94th minute to win the game, like Sir Alex Ferguson strikers used to do. There is not one player there that you look at and you think, you are going to guarantee me 25-plus goals in the Premier League, and that's what they need.
Look at the game against Southampton. 1-0 down, they managed to find the equaliser, but Manchester United last season, maybe, or even Manchester United of old, they would have gone on to win that game. A striker like Harry Kane, he could find that winning goal and guarantee all 3 points, not just one.
I think the other message as well, the fact that they aren't in for someone like Harry Kane, is a clear indicator from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer that I'm backing my strikers. I'm backing. I know what I've got in that dressing room. I know what I've got in the top end of the pitch. And when you see the way Mason Greenwood has started this season, maybe Ole has seen something in pre-season that perhaps we haven't seen, and he's going, I don't need to get a striker because I know Mason Greenwood this season is going to be my man. And let's be honest, 2-2, fantastic start, 19 years old. He's what everything Manchester United fans want has come from the academy. Maybe they don't need Harry Kane because they've got Mason Greenwood.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting actually that Greenwood against Southampton started on the right rather than up front, and Martial started up front. But from the Manchester City side of things, Kyle, do you think it's at the stage now where they are at least starting to look elsewhere?
Well, they've been linked with quite a few players over the last few weeks. Lautaro Martinez, that seems to have gone quiet now. Danny Ings is a name that always came up when it comes to Manchester City. That's obviously gone quiet with that move to Aston Villa. Pep Guardiola has been quite vocal on this, saying he doesn't know whether they'll still buy a striker. He says it's still a maybe and that it'll depend on the market, the options. Who are the options? Romelu Lukaku's gone to Chelsea. Danny Ings has gone to Aston Villa. He was asked a question about Robert Lewandowski and he said he will stay at Bayern Munich. But actually, next question.
Next question mark.
Next question mark. Yeah, he doesn't seem to be in the market. Yeah. So he is being asked these questions around the different options that are available. But who could you actually see come in? Pep Guardiola wants a striker that will work to his capabilities and his ability and actually do the job that he wants. Is there anybody out there who could do that? Erling Haaland, another name that gets thrown around and thrown into the mix. He doesn't seem to be going anywhere this transfer window. It could happen maybe next year. Feels like this link with Harry Kane, it hasn't gone away now for 3 months. But once again, I'll say this, there's 7 days left in the transfer window. Who realistically is going to leave? Who else could Manchester City, unless they've already been looking at other options, who else will they get in 7 days?
Maybe they could bid for Danny Ings. 50 million.
Yeah. Bit late for that, Margaret. Another Kyle says Manchester United don't want Kane because all of Ollie's eggs are in the basket of Haaland for next summer, which we could have something to do with that as well. Right, from going back to the Tottenham angle, though, Mark, they are looking to strengthen another area of the pitch.
Yeah. This is a story that's emerged over the course of the last couple of days and clearly links Nuno with an old player, someone who knows well, in Adama Traore. Now, this is not a case that Spurs are spending the money they would get for Kane on a new player. This is someone that was already a target before the Kane story. Tottenham, we know, are interested in Adama Traore. There has been a suggestion that this would be a potential loan deal with an obligation to buy, but we've had our sources that have confirmed Wolves would dismiss this out of hand. That's not something they would entertain. In terms of what they're looking for, if they were to sell Traore, who still has 2 years left on his current contract, it would be something around the fee that Liverpool paid for Diogo Jota, which was around £45 million. So you're looking at £45 to £50 million for Traore. As we say, his contract runs until 2023, so they're in no rush to sell him at this stage. And there is also an offer on the table for Traore to extend his stay at Wolves. They want him to sign a new contract and they're trying to encourage him to do that. But this is another interesting one as the window ticks along. Where are Tottenham going to try and strengthen? And it certainly feels like that type of area is something they're looking at, and Traore is quite clearly a target.